Hey there, hey friends. Recently, I took a trip to my local Jerry's Autorama looking for something new and fun to explore. After passing up many different items I thought would be more affordable if I purchased them online, I ran across something I found pretty exciting. The Soho Urban Artist Stretched Hot Press Watercolor Paper. Intrigued, I went searching for information and found a pretty interesting video that led me to want to play around with this product in today's video. Let's take a look at it. So here, my friends, as stated before, this is the Soho Urban Artist Select Stretch Watercolor Paper. Soho is a house brand of Jerry's Autorama. I do tend to get a lot of their products, and unlike a lot of other house brands, I don't think they're as hit and miss as, say, like Artist Loft by Michaels or Master's Touch by Hobby Lobby. I think overall Soho is pretty consistent, but that's just me based on my experience of using the product. And I was so excited to see this product when I passed it in the store. Here we have a 100% cotton, 140-pound hot press, acid-free, internally and externally sized stretched watercolor paper. Now, what makes this unique is that it is a hot press paper that is stretched around a wooden frame and then stapled on the back versus being a canvas, which I thought was so very unique. So I grabbed a couple of them and I did bring them home with me. Now I've already opened one and have it here outside of the plastic, and I've already come up with a composition that we're going to be painting on today. Now, we'll turn this into a traceable, and it will be available over on Patreon just in case Creation Station members want to get their hands on it. However, the first thing I want to do is actually spray the watercolor paper with water. Now, I did hop on over to YouTube and look this product up, and I found a video by Jerry's Autorama and some of their artists over there who was introducing this product. And one of the tips that I picked up was to actually spray the paper with water and give it time to dry so that it would tighten, just like actually stretching watercolor paper. So that's what I'm doing, friends. I've just sprayed it with my continuous mister. I've got a soft, clean, synthetic swirl brush here, and I am just going to get this sprayed and get that evenly coated. I'll give it time to dry, and then we are going to paint on this to see what it gives us, how it works. Do we like it? Is it any better than any of the aqua boards or aquarelle boards or watercolor canvases that we've used at any point in the past? So let's give that a second to dry, and then we're going to get to painting, my friends. As I jump into the demo, I want to let you know that not only is this testing phase for the stretch watercolor paper, but I'm also continuing my testing of this new watercolor set by Paul Rubens. This is the 5th generation release of their professional watercolor paint, and I have to say that after a couple of uses, I am kind of impressed. However, we will touch on that more in a future video. Now, turning our attention to this product we are really concentrating on today, I must admit that I was a bit hesitant to paint on it. I normally paint on 140-pound cold-pressed watercolor paper for the most of my creations. Therefore, it was really different for me to be using hot-pressed paper, especially in this format. Now, I will say I was impressed at the amount of tension the paper had after I originally sprayed it with water and allowed it to dry. I am not one that usually stretches paper. I normally just take the edges of my paper down with masking tape or painter's tape. So it was a unique experience to paint on stretched paper. However, with that said, this is hot press paper, and as we know, hot press does not like super watery washes. It's not the best paper when you're painting using lots of water. Yet, me being me, I was going to push the limits anyway, so I settled on doing a set of Cosmos in a glass vase. Plus, it's been a while since I painted glass, so this was a welcome change. From the first stroke, I was able to see what a lot of the water was going to do. It does soften the stretch of the paper and will actually slightly warp it. However, once it dries, it goes back to its flat type shape, even giving you that drum sound if you tap the surface of the paper. Now, I did the background with a mixture of several blues, and I noticed right away some of the sizing seemed to be off. 3 really weird dots appeared halfway down the paper. I have no idea what caused it because I literally just took the stretch paper out of the packaging before I started to shoot this video. The paper did allow the paints to flow, which I was happy with, but there was a huge color shift once the paint started to dry. Now, of course, this was helped by the amount of water I was using, although I did think that I used enough paint to have strong pigment in my washes. So I will say moving forward, I will keep that shift in mind so that I can try to offset it as I paint on this product. The cosmos I tackled with a Quin Maroon using the French Blue and Dioxazine Violet to darken the mix and add different shades in places that I thought I needed it. I also use strong amounts of Quin Maroon in mass tone for some of the veining. The rest of the flower will be me using different yellows for the flower center with a bit of burnt sienna to shadow it. Although I am telling you what I used in painting this creation, this entire video is really meant to focus more on testing the actual stretch paper. I really want to call it a canvas, but in all fairness, it's not canvas paper. As we said before, it's hot press paper that's stretched across a wooden frame. As one who is not really used to using it, I did find it a little difficult to use the techniques I am used to. I had to constantly remind myself that this was hot press watercolor paper and it was going to be performing differently. Therefore, I had to roll with the changes and take them in stride. Honestly, this painting was in the hot mess stage for a while, and I was a little concerned that I wouldn't pull it off. If you are a person who uses hot press paper on a regular, then you may actually really like this product. If you have never painted on hot press paper and you are only used to using cold press, then there will be a bit of a learning curve to conquer. Now, the advertisement says that the paper is externally and internally sized. I do believe that there may be some sizing issues with the product though. This is actually the second one I have painted on and the second one that I have experienced a sizing problem with. Now, I do have one more left and I'm going to give it a shot before deciding if I will be adding this product to my supply collection on a permanent basis. With all that said, as it goes in the way of water-soluble products meant for watercolor and or gouache in a canvas style or form, this is probably the best one I have used. I find myself not being a fan of aqua boards or flat boards claiming to be canvas for watercolor products. However, this one has promises that I do believe it is living up to. I will definitely keep you all up to date on my thoughts with a review video a little later on down the line. Now it's time for you to tell me what you think, my friends. What do you think of the way the composition turned out on this stretch watercolor paper / canvas? Have you ever tried this brand and or product before? If so, what do you think? I would really love to get that conversation going. Please feel free to sprinkle a little love by giving the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed being here today, and share if you like, for sharing is caring and it most definitely helps. Now, if you are new or returning and haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscription button and notification bell so that you will know when we upload or go live. You can check the video description for all of the relevant links, and be sure to check out the suggested video at the end. In the meantime, my friends, remember to just keep creating.